Welcome, truth seekers, to the Unseen Wisdom. If you value getting complex info broken down into, the essential insights, please do us a huge favor. Like this deep dive, subscribe, and definitely hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next conversation. Today we're delving into some really explosive material. We've spent a lot of time going through sources, specifically the Mac podcast and MOYA, to really understand the profound and often shocking things said by advocate Tefo Malasila. Our mission here, to unpack his perspective on what he claims is deeply entrenched corruption in South Africa's justice system, and of course the ongoing Senzo Meyiwa murder case, and also to understand the immense personal cost he says he's paid for speaking truth to power. Okay, let's get into this.
Indeed. And what's really striking, I think, is that Advocate Tefo doesn't just make vague accusations. He gives specific names, dates, connections, painting this picture, a really disturbing picture, of a system where it seems like power and influence just override justice. We'll try to connect the dots here. His personal story, the corruption claims, and the Senzo Meyiwa mystery, all through his lens, basically.
Right. And before we even jump into the big cases, the systemic stuff, I think it's really crucial to understand Tefo's own journey, the pressures he's faced. He's not just watching from the sidelines. He's been right in the thick of it, hasn't he? What's his background? What led him here?
Well, he actually started out as a police officer, trained back in 1995, served for 19 years, quite a long time, before becoming a lawyer in 2008. He describes himself as being something of a union leader within the police, often defending members against what he saw as harassment from leadership. And he says, quite explicitly, that he was never really on good terms with station commanders. Why? Because he refused to be a yes person when he saw things going wrong. So that kind of independent streak, that refusal to just go along, it seems like it really set the stage for his current battles.
Okay, and it sounds like those battles ramped up significantly when he got involved in the Senzo Meyiwa case. He claims that involvement triggered these intense personal attacks. I mean, he was arrested, wasn't he? August 1st, 2023.
That's right. And then spent, get this, 17 months in prison. Yeah. Only released December 10th, 2024. And apparently never formally charged with any wrongdoing related to that imprisonment.
17 months without charge. So why, according to him, was he actually there?
He believes, quite firmly, that it was an attempt to tame him, to, stop him from going back to the Senzo Meyiwa case. He even says that the initial intention of whoever put him there was for him to either die there or go mad. That's a direct quote, essentially.
It's chilling.
It gets even more disturbing. He brings up this specific incident, claims he was poisoned in December 2023. Through food during a prison visit, he calls it a chicken lick, said it had visible physical effects like his fingernails were gone. He sees his survival as, divine protection.
An alleged poisoning attempt while locked up. So beyond these physical threats, was there also pressure in terms of money to get him off the Meyiwa case?
Oh, absolutely. He claims he was offered 45 million rand.
45 million?
Yep, while he was in prison. Offered that amount to withdraw from the case. He says he refused. And he's so convinced about what he knows, he now suggests he could be offered 100 million rand to just step away completely.
100 million. It just makes you think, what kind of secrets could possibly be worth that much money to keep hidden?
Exactly. That's the question hanging over all of this, isn't it?
And the personal toll, it seems immense, stretching way beyond just the prison time. What about his life outside? His family?
Yeah, he paints a really grim picture there. He says his children were kicked out of their model school because fees weren't paid, had to go to a public school, struggled to adapt. His furniture, seized by the sheriff, apparently owed R$182,000 in rent for his home. That's R$17,000 a month. His law office is inaccessible too, R$108,000 owed there. It's a complete financial dismantling, it seems.
Devastating. And does he name anyone specifically responsible for this pressure?
He does. He points fingers directly at Julius Malema, the EFF president, and Ronald Lamola, who was the Minister of Justice and Correctional Services at the time. He alleges they made his life difficult, wanted him jailed, and even influenced him being struck off the roll, losing his license to practice law. And he claims that action was fraudulent, didn't follow the proper Legal Practice Council, the LPC procedures.
So it's not just financial, it's professional ruin, family hardship. It sounds like they're hitting it from every possible angle.
That's certainly the picture he paints. A multi-pronged attack, seemingly designed to silence him completely.
Okay, given all that personal fallout, let's shift focus directly to the case he says is at the heart of it all. The Senzo Meyiwa murder. It's captivated South Africa for years. Tefo offers a narrative that's completely different from the official story, right? What does he claim happened that night?
Right. He throws the whole robbery gone wrong theory out the window, fundamentally challenges it. Advocate Tefo insists the 5 men currently accused are innocent, says they have solid alibis, calls them scapegoats. He claims he actually has an affidavit from Longwei Twala, that's Chico Twala's son, which Longwei dictated to him in prison.
An affidavit from Longwei. What does it say?
According to Tefo, the affidavit states that Longwei, apparently high on drugs for courage, brought his father's unlicensed .38 special revolver to Kelly Khumalo's home. Then, during some kind of altercation, Longwei fired a shot into the floor. That shot supposedly injured Zondi Khumalo with shrapnel. Then, Senzo allegedly wrestled the gun away from Longwei and gave it to Kelly Khumalo. And here's the tragic part of his version. As Kelly was sort of playfully handing the gun back to Senzo, it went off, discharged, killing Senzo. Tefo calls it a fatal mistake.
Wow, that is radically different. A fatal mistake, not a robbery, not a hit. So if that's the story, how does Tefo explain the cover-up? Who was involved in hiding this version?
Well, according to Tefo, the cover-up started, immediately. Kelly Khumalo allegedly called her manager, Chico Twala. Chico then supposedly told her to hide the gun and, crucially, not give it to the local police.
Okay, so not the local cops. Then who?
Instead, Tefo alleges that big police officers arrived. He names General Shadrach and Major General Thembi Hadebi, and also Major General Pileni, who is now deceased. He claims they came specifically to secure the firearm, not the crime scene itself, which, if true, immediately casts doubt on the whole initial investigation, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Securing the weapon over the scene.
Yeah.
And this alleged murder weapon, the .38 special revolver. Where does Tefo say it originally came from? This gets even wilder.
It really does. Tefo claims that specific revolver actually belonged to Advocate George Beloy.
Wait, the lead prosecutor in the Senzo Meyiwa case, George Beloy, who's now deceased.
The very same one. That's the allegation. An absolutely explosive claim. And Tefo connects it by alleging that Beloy's own 10-year-old son, Seppo Beloy, died back in 2004 from a self-inflicted gunshot wound using the same type of firearm.
Okay, hold on. So Beloy's son died using a similar gun, and Tefo claims the gun that killed Senzo belonged to Beloy. How does Chico Twala fit into this part?
Tefo suggests that Chico Twala and Advocate Beloy are actually half-brothers, and that the firearm was somehow disposed of, given to Chico. Tefo's even gone so far as to open a formal case, CCAS-T 29112025, about this, alleging negligent handling, concealing the death, concealing the firearm. And then he makes this incredibly dark claim, linking Sipo's death and Senzo's death as ritually related sacrifices. It's a really complex and disturbing web he's weaving.
A massive, multi-layered conspiracy involving prosecutors, police, alleged family ties, even ritual sacrifice. So who else is implicated? And why, if this is all true, has the case dragged on for so long with no resolution?
Tefo claims there are, or were, 11 people connected to the case who have died mysteriously over the years.
11 people.
Mm-hmm. He also alleges Kelly Khumalo has an unexecuted arrest warrant against her for conspiracy to commit murder and murder itself. And he claims she wants to testify, but these powerful forces he talks about are preventing her. He calls the whole trial a sham trial, even a script. He alleges the defense lawyers are being paid millions, claims are 7 million so far, at our 25,000 a day by Legal Aid South Africa. But he says this money comes with conditions. Don't try to recuse the judge and make sure the accused, who he maintains are innocent, are found guilty.
So he's implicating Legal Aid, the defense lawyers.
The judiciary itself. He believes judges are being bought, and he claims the media narrative is controlled by powerful white interests, essentially shaping what the public believes. The scale he's suggesting is enormous. From the crime scene itself up through police ranks, the prosecution, even the judiciary and media, it suggests a system completely compromised.
And Tefo doesn't stop at the Meyiwa case, does he? He connects all this to a much broader pattern of alleged corruption, specifically within the South African Police Service, the SAPS. Who are these enemies he keeps mentioning inside the police force?
Yeah, his list is quite specific, focusing on high-ranking officials. He names Lieutenant General Elias Mawela, who was the provincial commissioner of Gauteng, accuses him point-blank of supplying the drugs in Gauteng.
A provincial commissioner is supplying drugs. That's a huge accusation.
It is. He also names Major General Colin Slowly, head of legal services in Gauteng, saying Slowly led the campaign to destroy his legal career. And there are others. Brigadier Dennis Buss, Colonel Sarita Smith, Brigadier Stalls, Colonel Nkosi, and Lieutenant General Brenda Manga, the provincial commissioner of the Free State. It's a significant list of senior people.
So, if these claims hold any water, What does this alleged drug operation within the police actually look like, according to him?
He gives a pretty stark example. Says back in 2019, a huge shipment of drugs from South America was intercepted at Durban port. What followed, he claims, was basically a war between the police minister at the time and the national commissioner. A fight over who got possession of the drugs. Each one allegedly trying to grab the cargo for themselves, completely outside of legal channels.
A fight over seized drugs between the minister and the commissioner.
That's the claim. He makes a distinction. A supplier distributes drugs across provinces, while a dealer sells locally. He labels Meyiwa a supplier. This internal power struggle over the drug shipment, Tefo claims, is what ultimately led to the national commissioner being fired. And he suggests police involvement goes beyond just drugs into things like high-profile brothels, prostitution rings, particularly in Sandton. It paints a picture of deep, systemic criminality within the force.
An institution meant to uphold the law, allegedly involved in running underworld activities. It's hard to comprehend. And what about this Louis Vuitton big gang he mentions? What's that about?
He's quite blunt. He says the SAPS, as an institution of integrity, is not there anymore. Claims the current national commissioner and deputies are facing corruption cases themselves. He calls them the Louis Vuitton big gang, which seems to refer specifically to corruption linked to SAPS tenders. High-value contracts being manipulated for illicit gain. He even alleges the national commissioner's appointment violated the Constitution. So it suggests a complete breakdown from the very top. In that kind of environment, he argues, whistleblowers like him get targeted, fired, silenced, or worse. That's how he frames his own persecution.
This has been, well, a truly eye-opening deep dive into the world, according to advocate Tefo Malasela. His claims are staggering, from the minute details he alleges about the Senzo Meyiwa case to the sweeping accusations of corruption running through the SAPS, the judiciary.
Right.
It paints a profoundly disturbing picture. It really makes you, the listener, start to question, doesn't it? How much of what we see as justice is actually just a carefully managed story?
Absolutely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it raises that fundamental question. In a world where truth can apparently be so easily hidden, where powerful people allegedly operate with impunity, how can you really know what to believe? Advocate Tefo's story, whether you believe every detail or not, serves as this stark reminder, a reminder of the immense courage it might take to challenge powerful systems, and the incredibly severe personal price one might pay for simply trying to uncover the truth. That alleged offer of 100 million rand, it speaks volumes about the potential value placed on silence over justice.
Before you go, please, make sure you like this deep dive. Leave us a comment, let us know your thoughts, your insights on all this. We really want to hear what stands out to you. And of course, subscribe to The Unseen Wisdom for more conversations like this one. And for our final, provocative thought today, if, as advocate Tefo claims, the truth he holds is so explosive it's potentially worth 100 million rand to bury, what responsibility do we have? As citizens, as the learner, what responsibility do we have to seek out that truth even when the system itself seems designed to hide it?